Did you know that overnight, some people who are completely healthy can suddenly lose their ability to speak, move their limbs, or maintain balance without any warning signs? This does not only happen to those who eat a lot of fried foods or avoid exercise, it can also happen to older adults who believe they are eating very healthy, especially when it comes to fruit. After the age of 60, your body no longer processes sugar, potassium, and acid the same way it used to. The liver slows down, the kidneys are not as effective at filtering, blood circulation becomes weaker. Just one piece of fruit eaten at the wrong time, in the wrong amount, or combined with medication can trigger a storm in your circulatory system. In today's video, I will share real stories from people who also thought that a ripe banana or a glass of orange juice could never cause harm. This video will help you better understand your body. Please do not skip it, especially if you want to live a long and healthy life. Where are you watching this video from? Leave a comment and share your thoughts. I read and truly appreciate every message you leave. When you were younger, you could eat a bunch of ripe bananas, drink a glass of orange juice, or enjoy a mango at midnight without a second thought. But after the age of 60, your body no longer processes fruit the way it used to. Silent changes in the liver, kidneys, circulatory system, and even the brain can turn seemingly healthy foods into harmful ones when consumed the wrong way. After 60, the liver slows down, making it less efficient at breaking down natural compounds in fruit, especially those that contain acid or interfere with medication, such as oranges, mangoes, and grapefruits. If you are taking medication for blood pressure or cholesterol, these so-called healthy fruits can cause those drugs to build up in your bloodstream and lead to metabolic problems. The kidneys also weaken over time, reducing their ability to flush out potassium. A ripe banana or a glass of tomato juice may seem harmless, but their high potassium content can lead to irregular heartbeat, high blood pressure, or dizziness after waking up. Blood circulation becomes more fragile as well, especially when the sugar from sweet fruits or juices enters the body too quickly. According to research from Tufts University, a sudden spike in blood sugar can damage blood vessel walls, trigger inflammation, and promote the formation of clots, which is a common cause of stroke. The brain is also affected. Low oxygen levels, dehydration, or nighttime blood pressure changes all increase the risk of stroke while you sleep. And sadly, it can all start with just one piece of fruit you eat every day. Fruit number 1. Overripe bananas. Bananas are often seen as friendly, easy to digest, convenient, and nutrient-rich fruits. But after the age of 60, eating overripe bananas, especially on an empty stomach or before bedtime, can cause serious trouble for your blood vessels. As bananas ripen, their starch converts into simple sugars, the sweetness becomes more pronounced. But the glycemic index (GI) also rises significantly. This means that after eating an overripe banana, your blood sugar may spike suddenly. This is especially dangerous if you have prediabetes, high blood pressure, or a weakened circulatory system. It does not stop there. Bananas are also high in potassium. After 60, the kidneys become less efficient at removing excess potassium. Eating too many bananas, especially when your body is dehydrated in the early morning, can lead to a condition called hyperkalemia. This can cause irregular heartbeat, increased blood pressure, and in rare cases, mild seizures or temporary loss of consciousness. The story of Mrs. Margaret, 76 years old, is a typical example. Every morning, she began her day with a smoothie made from ripe bananas. One morning, she felt dizzy and started slurring her speech. She was diagnosed with a mild stroke. Her doctor identified the combination of overripe bananas, dehydration, and unstable blood pressure as a hidden risk. Fruit number 2, grapes and raisins. You may think that a few grapes in the afternoon or some raisins with your breakfast are healthy choices, but for people over 60, grapes and raisins can silently become a cause of blood vessel inflammation and increase the risk of stroke if not eaten properly. The problem lies in the fact that grapes are very high in simple sugars, mainly glucose and fructose. When you eat grapes, especially seedless sweet varieties or frozen grapes, this sugar enters the bloodstream very quickly, causing a blood sugar spike within minutes. After the age of 60, your insulin response becomes less flexible and blood vessel walls become thinner and more fragile. A rapid rise in blood sugar not only makes you feel tired after eating, but also triggers silent inflammation in the circulatory system. Small injuries to the vessel walls, over time, become attachment points for blood clots, which can lead to a stroke. Raisins are even more risky. They are dehydrated, sugar concentrated, and almost completely lack fiber. Just a small handful contains more sugar than a piece of cake. Mrs. Evelyn, 79 years old, had a habit of eating 2 cups of grapes each day while reading the newspaper. One morning, her hand trembled and she could not write a birthday card. It turned out to be a warning sign of a transient ischemic attack. So if you enjoy eating grapes, eat only a small amount, never on an empty stomach, and try combining them with nuts or cheese to slow down sugar absorption. Fruit number 3. Pineapple. Pineapple is a favorite fruit among older adults for its sweet, refreshing taste, ease of digestion, and digestive support. However, eating pineapple at night or while taking medication may unintentionally increase your risk of stroke during sleep. The first concern is bromelain, a natural enzyme found in pineapple. While it supports digestion in small amounts, eating too much or combining it with blood-thinning medications can cause excessive thinning of the blood, making silent bleeding in the brain more likely. That is not all. Pineapple also has a high glycemic index and contains strong acids, which can lead to a spike in blood sugar and nighttime acid reflux. When acid rises up, it can reduce oxygen flow to the brain, especially if you sleep on your back or go to bed with an empty stomach. This sets the stage for a possible stroke during sleep. The case of Mrs. Clara, 77 years old, is a typical example. She often ate a few slices of pineapple after dinner instead of sugary desserts. One morning, she woke up unable to walk straight or speak clearly. She was diagnosed with a mild stroke in the back of the brain. The main causes were identified as high blood sugar, blood thinning, and acid-related oxygen loss during sleep. If you love pineapple, eat it during the day, in small portions, never on an empty stomach, and especially avoid eating it before bedtime. Fruit number 4. Watermelon. Watermelon is seen as a symbol of summer. It is refreshing, sweet, and made up of about 90% water. But what many people do not know is that watermelon can actually cause serious dehydration in the brain if eaten at the wrong time, especially in the evening, although it contains a lot of water. Watermelon has natural diuretic properties. After the age of 60, many people are already using diuretics to manage blood pressure, and when combined with watermelon, the body can lose too much fluid. Dehydration during sleep is a silent risk because you cannot feel it when your blood becomes thicker and flows more slowly. This is the moment when blood clots can easily form, especially in small arteries that have already hardened with age, increasing the chance of a stroke in the early morning. Mr. Howard, 82 years old, was an active man who walked daily and avoided sweets. He had a habit of eating several large slices of watermelon after dinner to cool down. One morning, he woke up feeling dizzy and collapsed when trying to stand. Tests showed he was dehydrated, had thickened blood, and signs of a mild stroke. If you enjoy watermelon, eat it during the day in moderate amounts, and do not forget to add electrolytes such as a pinch of salt or a bit of coconut water to help your body stay hydrated. Fruit number 5, oranges and orange juice. Oranges are often seen as a symbol of health because they are rich in vitamin C, but few people know that orange juice, especially when consumed in the morning while taking medication, can silently disrupt liver function and increase the risk of stroke in people over 60. The reason lies in a natural compound found in oranges, grapefruits, and tangerines called furanocoumarin. This compound can inhibit a liver enzyme known as CYP3A4, which is responsible for breaking down many medications for blood pressure, cholesterol, and heart conditions. When the liver does not properly process these medications, the drug levels in the blood can become too high or too low. This can lead to sudden drops in blood pressure, slowed heart rate, headaches, or dizziness. These effects pose a serious risk to the brain when blood flow becomes unstable. Mr. Elbert, 79 years old, used to call his morning glass of orange juice sunshine in a cup and would drink it right after taking his medication. After several months, he began feeling lightheaded and weak every time he stood up. One morning, he fell out of his chair. Tests revealed he had low blood pressure and abnormally high levels of medication in his blood. Even though the dosage had not changed, the main cause was his habit of drinking orange juice at the same time as his medication. If you are taking heart or blood pressure medication, consult your doctor before regularly drinking orange juice, and consider switching to diluted lemon water if you need a touch of sour flavor. Fruit number 6, mango. Mango is a tropical fruit loved by many for its rich sweetness and soft texture. But after the age of 60, eating ripe mangoes frequently, especially dried mango, can cause a sudden spike in blood sugar and disrupt how the liver processes medications, leading to an unexpected risk of stroke. 1 cup of ripe mango can contain up to 45 grams of sugar, which is more than a donut. When blood sugar rises quickly, the small blood vessels in the brain are more likely to suffer damage. This increases the risk of inflammation in the vessel walls and the formation of blood clots. In addition, mango contains a compound called mangiferin, which can slow down the liver's ability to process medications, especially those related to blood pressure and heart health. Mr. William, 83 years old, had replaced cookies with dried mango as a healthier snack. After a few weeks, he began feeling dizzy every morning, and one day he collapsed beside his bed. Test results revealed he had suffered a mild stroke caused by abnormally high levels of medication in his blood. Doctors concluded that his liver could not process the medication properly due to the mangiferin from the daily dried mango. If you enjoy mango, eat only a few small slices during the day, avoid dried mango entirely, and pair it with protein such as yogurt or nuts to slow down sugar absorption. Fruit number 7, apple juice, dates, and pears. Fruits like apples, dates, and pears are often considered gentle choices for older adults because they are soft, easy to digest, and not too acidic. However, their seemingly harmless sweetness can cause sudden spikes in the blood sugar and silently damage blood vessels in the brain if eaten the wrong way or in large amounts. What you need to pay special attention to is not the fruit itself, but the form in which you consume it. Apple juice, even without added sugar, lacks fiber and is absorbed very quickly into the bloodstream, causing blood sugar to rise sharply without any break. For seniors, the insulin response is slower, which means the sugar stays in the blood longer. this can easily lead to inflammation in the small blood vessels and disrupt blood flow to the brain. Similarly, dried dates are extremely high in sugar. Just 3 small dates can contain 20 to 30 grams of sugar. Because they are low in fiber and water, the sugar goes straight into the bloodstream, creating a sharp blood sugar peak. Over time, this can trigger silent inflammation and support the formation of blood clots, a key risk factor for stroke. Pears are a different case. Although they are soft and high in water, eating them on an empty stomach or too quickly can cause a spike in fructose, making you feel dizzy or slightly fatigued without a clear reason. For those with a history of high blood pressure, eating overripe pears in the evening may further disrupt internal balance. If you enjoy these 3 fruits, choose to eat the whole fruit, eat slowly, chew thoroughly, and always pair them with a source of protein such as almonds or a slice of cheese to slow down sugar absorption. Most importantly, avoid using juice or dried fruits as meal replacements, and always observe how your body reacts after eating. Fruit is not the enemy. On the contrary, it provides valuable vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants. But after the age of 60, the way you eat fruit should be adjusted to match your changing body. You do not need to give it up completely. You only need to follow a few simple guidelines to continue enjoying sweet flavors while protecting your brain and circulatory system. The first guideline is to eat at the right time. Avoid eating fruit immediately after waking up on an empty stomach or right before bed. These are the 2 times when blood pressure, blood sugar, and circulation are most likely to become unstable. Eating fruit in the mid-morning or early afternoon is a safer choice. The second guideline is to eat small portions and chew well. 1 small banana, a handful of grapes, or half a mango is enough for 1 serving. Do not assume that more fruit is always better. For older adults, too much sugar or potassium can lead to irregular heartbeat, high blood pressure, or trigger blood clot formation. The third guideline is to combine fruit wisely. Always pair fruit with a source of protein or healthy fat such as cheese, plain yogurt, or a few almonds. This helps slow down sugar absorption and keeps your blood sugar more stable. Finally, listen to your body. If you feel dizzy after eating mango, feel tired after a glass of orange juice, or wake up with a dry mouth after eating watermelon at night, do not ignore it. These may be small signs that your body is reacting to how you are eating, so if a small change in habit could help your brain rest better every night, would you be willing to start today? You have just gone on a journey with me to explore 7 familiar fruits that can become dangerous to the brain if eaten at the wrong time, in the wrong amount, or combined improperly with medications. The most important thing to remember is this: fruit is not the problem. It is the body after age 60 that needs more care and attention, as the liver, kidneys, circulatory system, and brain change with age. Foods that once seemed healthy may become less suitable. A glass of orange juice each morning may interfere with how the liver processes medication. A handful of grapes in the afternoon may cause a sudden spike in blood sugar. A slice of pineapple at night may lead to acid reflux and poor sleep. But with a few adjustments, eating at the right time, in the right amount, and in the right way, you can still enjoy the gifts of nature safely. Even the smallest change today can help protect your brain and your heart tomorrow. Simply swapping a glass of apple juice for a whole apple eaten slowly. Choosing a few fresh mango slices at lunch instead of eating dried mango every day. Or just eating fruit with a little cheese or a few nuts to slow sugar absorption. These changes do not have to be big, but their impact can be significant. If you once believed that fruit was completely harmless, today you have gained a new perspective to better protect yourself. Your body deserves to be loved not by how much food you consume, but by how well you understand and care for it. If you found today's content helpful, please remember to subscribe and share this video with someone you care about. Sometimes, a timely health story can save a life, and you deserve to live every day healthy, clear-minded, and independent.